Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lauren and today we're going to talk some tea empties. So happy new year everyone. This is officially the first video back on my channel. I know we're halfway through January already, which means that this video is very late, but we're going to be talking about my December empties because even though I had, what was it, 5 different advent calendars, I still managed to get quite a few empties in outside of the calendars, which, as if I needed any more proof that I drink a lot of tea. I drink a lot of tea. So these are my December empties. First off, the Titanic blend from Harney & Sons. I bought this on a whim on their, I guess it was their Black Friday sale. I hadn't planned on buying anything for Black Friday, but another one of their teas had come back in stock and I wanted to get it. So I grabbed this one on a whim, loved it, went through it super quick. It's a great black tea blend. It has Khimum, Assam, Ceylon, and Oolong. It's excellent. I had this every day until it was gone. I would totally buy some more. I don't know if they sell it loose leaf. This was all bagged. If they sell it loose leaf, I will 100% buy it again. If it's bagged, I don't know if I will, but it's really, really good. I really enjoyed this one. Next up is my DAVIDSTEA Throat Rescue. If you have been around for any length of time, you know that the DAVIDSTEA Throat Rescue is one of my favorite teas to drink after I've had a long session or if I'm feeling any kind of twinginess or fatigue with my throat. It's a really nice blend for throat relief. I always have some of this on hand, but I finished up a tin of it, so I wanted to share that with y'all. My last tin of the salted caramel Lebkuchen from Bird & Blend. This tea is so dang good. I did a review on it. I'll link it below. If you've never had it before, I would highly recommend the next time you buy from Bird & Blend, grab it if they still have it in stock. If not, get it next holiday season. It's so, so good. Next, the RAF English Breakfast Blend from Rare Tea Company. This tea was I was really excited about trying this tea because it also helps to benefit the Royal Air Force Association. And I really enjoyed the fact that money gets donated to them every time you buy a tin of this. This was a solid breakfast blend. I don't think I would necessarily buy it again because I'm really trying to find teas that I just absolutely love to permanently keep in my collection. And while that was a very nice breakfast blend, it wasn't the one that I would want to reach for every morning. Next up is another Rare Tea Company blend called Los Malawi, which is another English breakfast tea. Definitely enjoyed this more than the RAF breakfast blend, but again, it's not something I would necessarily reach for on a regular basis. I finished up a mega-sized tin of Elephant Chateau's Ceylon blend, the Royal Black. I had bought this tea thinking that it would become like my go-to breakfast blend, but turns out I did not particularly care for it on its own, but I did use it to sip down lots of other teas. I was using it to blend with non-caffeinated teas, and that worked really, really well, and I had a giant bag of it, so I managed to finish it. So I'm very proud of myself for that. All right, next up we have another Bird & Blend, their Tea and Toast. Now I tried this both hot and cold, and I have to say that I definitely preferred it cold steeped and enjoyed as an iced tea. This was really, really yummy. I thought it was fine hot, but I felt like the raspberry really shined when it was cold steeped. Next up is Tea and Me, their morning ritual black tea. This was sent to me as a part of one of the perks for backing them on Kickstarter, I think it was. This is a black tea with peach in it, and I really, really liked this tea. This is a brand new tea company based out of the UK. It's owned by 2 black women, and I really wanted to support their new venture, and I gotta say, this was a really great tea. Peach teas are always a really big hit or miss for me. I felt like the peach was just subtle enough that it was still able to be a light and refreshing flavor, while also letting the black tea shine and do its thing. I would totally buy this again. Next up is the Brooklyn Tea Better Body Oolong. I didn't really like this one. It sat in my collection for a while and I just had to really work my way through it. It just wasn't my favorite kind of oolong. It was definitely more of like a green oolong, which I prefer the roasty oolongs. But if you like green oolongs, you would probably enjoy this. Next up is DAVIDSTEA Strawberry Gummy. This was something that I bought when I was trying to meet the $50 minimum. I figured I would try it, thought it might be a good iced tea, and it was fine as an iced tea. I wouldn't buy it again. This is the Coalition tea from Mesopotamia. I'm fairly certain this is one of the teas that was in the Tea and Me blog advent calendar, and while I didn't really include the advent calendar teas in here, I really enjoyed this one. So I personally wanted to keep it in my collection so that I would know that it was one of the ones I wanted to try again. Okay, so this is a spiced black tea, and I believe it's a veteran-owned company. I could be wrong. I cannot remember the details on this company, but it was really good, and I will definitely be checking out more information about them and what else they have available. Next up, we have this Peppermint from Churchill tea. This was something that came in my Sips By. It's just a straight peppermint and black tea. It was fine. I felt like the peppermint was really strong, and so it just took me a while to get through it. I like a subtle hint of peppermint, and there are just other things that I was trying to reach for during that time. Stash Orange Spice. This was sent to me from a friend for my birthday. She put together a whole box of teas for me to try that were some of her favorites. This was the Orange Spice, and she also sent me Good Earth Sweet and Spicy. Neither of them were really like a big hit for me, but I always like trying new teas, and it was such a thoughtful thing for her to put together for me. Next is this TEAPIGS Darjeeling Earl Grey. This was one of the teas from the TEAPIGS calendar, but I actually really liked it. This was a great Earl Grey. As somebody who doesn't really care for Earl Grey, I really liked this blend of the Darjeeling and Earl Grey. I would definitely buy this again. Another Night Owl tea. This is one of the oldest teas in my collection that I've been trying to sip down. This was a random holiday chai that I had from Stash. I can't even remember what it tasted like. Didn't really stand out to me. This is a chai that I've had in my collection forever. I originally bought it from my brother-in-law for when he came over for gatherings. And it's just been sitting in my collection for a long time. Finally tried it since I like chai now. Didn't really care for that, so it's not staying here, and it's gonna get passed on to someone who might enjoy it. Another one of the HARNEY & Sons decaffeinated Ceylons that I've had in my collection that I've been trying to sip down. I usually combine it with a peppermint tea. This is the Acacia Roast Oolong from Mountain Stream Teas. This is one of the teas that came in the Tea Thoughts calendar, and I enjoyed this a lot. I have not tried any of the Mountain Stream Teas before now, and I've heard really great things about them, so I'm looking forward to trying more from them. These two from Red Blossom were given to me by my husband for Christmas. This is their Honey Orchid and their Ongsi Oolong. I've been on the hunt for a Honey Orchid to replace the EMPTIES tea that I have. I haven't found a replacement yet, but I did enjoy getting a chance to try some teas from Red Blossom. I still have a few more to get through. He found 3 or 4 different companies and got a bunch of sample sizes for me so that I'd be able to try a bunch of new teas from companies I've never tried from, which was so sweet of him. And we are getting to the end of it, guys. So next up is all of these Stash White Christmas tea bags These have been in my collection since last year. I hadn't been drinking them throughout the year, I guess because it says Christmas on them. I just didn't do that. But this is a white tea, a peppermint, and a ginger tea. So I went through quite a bit of that in December. And lastly, as always, some TAZO Awake. This is your first time watching an empty video. TAZO Awake tea has been one of my go-to teas for the last 10 years. I always have these in my studio office so that I can quickly and easily just grab a tea and be good to go. So, love me some TAZO Awake tea. All right, you guys, so those were my tea empties for December. I'm really shocked that I have as many tea empties as I do, considering how much tea I have from the advent calendars. I didn't finish all of my advent calendar teas. There's still quite a few that are like sitting in my drawer upstairs. And that's mainly just because they are not teas that I would normally reach for. And about halfway through advent calendar season, I realized that maybe I went a little bit overboard getting 5 advent calendars, and that maybe next year I will get 1 or 2 and really be selective about the kind of advent calendar I get. I find that I'm just so picky when it comes to flavored tea that about halfway through I lose my steam in wanting to try anything, and I just want to have things that I really enjoy drinking. So I know, first world problems, definitely not a problem, not a real problem, it's a fake problem, but it's a tea problem, I guess. But thanks again for joining me today. I hope you are all doing as well as you possibly can. 2021 is going to give 2020 a run for its money. But let's just take it a day at a time, and I hope that you are safe and healthy and well. And thank you for being here. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.